Hey guys, welcome to this week's review of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Woo woo! I don't know about you guys, but I think I said this last week. I'm just ready for the reunion at this point. I don't know. Unpopular opinion. This season was not the worst season. I mean, the season with Lisa Vanderpump and the damn dog or the puppy, that was for sure the worst season of any Housewives I've ever seen in my life. Like, that was truly terrible and boring. So compared to that season, this season is like amazing. But just in general, compared to like Potomac right now, compared to other seasons of New York, not this season, but previous seasons of New York, this season of Beverly Hills, I don't know. I'm just kind of over it at this point because all we're really getting is Erica. And that wouldn't be such a big deal, but the other ladies are not really, they're not really questioning her. It's a lot of talking crap in their confessionals, but then when they're face to face, they really have nothing to say. Although I understand it is like it could be really awkward to say to someone to their face when you know that they're really going through it, hey, I don't know if I really believe your story. I don't know if that makes sense. But you know what? These ladies are getting paid like millions of dollars. Okay, maybe not millions of dollars, but up to $1 million, right? To do this. So one of y'all gotta be the bad guy. One of y'all gotta be the villain in this situation. It can't just be Erica at this point. One of y'all gotta give us something. Because, like Garcelle said, they were all having dinner, coming together, right? And Garcelle was like, everybody's kissing Erica's ass. But I feel like saying, and of course Garcelle is saying this in her confessional, right? Garcelle isn't saying it in the moment. You guys, why are you kissing Erica's ass? You guys had a lot to say behind her back. No. Of course she's saying this in her confessional. And I'm just like, Garcelle, you are one of the people kissing Erica's ass. She is one of them. They all are doing it, right? The only two people that maybe say something, like I said before, is Doree and Sutton. I sound like a broken record. Even like the first half of this episode, there's really nothing to kind of get into or review because I feel like everything is a rehash of what we've already seen so far at this point, right? And if no one is going to say to Erica, hey, your story about your son rolling in the snow in California 5 times, like, well, his car rolling in the snow 5 times sounds kind of unlikely, right? No one's confronting her and asking her about that. They're all saying behind her back, well, that sounds a little strange. That sounds a little unbelievable that it's snowing in California, but I don't know. Maybe it's true. It's like, you guys, someone has to confront her. Someone has to ask these questions. As an audience member, if we don't get that moment, then it's kind of like, we have to wait till the reunion. We have to wait till Andy, right? And the rumors are, spoiler, when it comes to the reunion, that Andy and Erica get into it. And I'm here for it because it's like, finally. And I'm never rooting for Andy, right? But if he's the only one that's going to be asking the tough questions, then I'm absolutely here for it, to be honest with you. I am. Let's get into a little bit of the episode. Not much happened. They went on a wine tasting. It seemed fun. It was a cute moment, I guess. And then they come back and they all have dinner, right? And Erica, yet again, is going on about Tom and how he has done a lot for a lot of people. So now that he has dementia, someone should be looking after him, right? And of course, Sutton said it right, but of course she said it in her damn confessional. She did not say it to Erica's face. Hell no, she would never. She would not. She would have 2 broken legs if she did. But she said in her confessionals, well, he has no one to look after him because his wife, is not there for him. And that's how I kind of feel. Like, Erica, if you are so concerned about Tom, right, and him being looked after, you were married to him. You knew, well, according to you, allegedly, you knew that there was some sort of cognitive decline, right? If you knew that there was cognitive decline in your husband and you care so much, why the hell did you get a divorce? I mean, you stuck it out for 20 plus years. You might as well stick it out for a little bit more if you know your husband is not in the right place and he's going to need somebody to take care of him, right? So that just makes it even more clear and more obvious that the reason why you got a divorce is because you knew all this was coming out and you were trying to avoid it. And it's like, legally, maybe you can say that. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But to be honest, it would make a lot more sense if you had said, this was coming out and I want to know parts of it because I didn't know and I was absolutely devastated. How could Tom be stealing money? He's such a terrible person. He lied to me. It's like, you could have played this a completely different way, but the fact that you're still trying to stick up for Tom, you're still trying to make Tom look like a sympathetic character, like a victim in this situation, right? It just shows me, I'm sorry, in my gut, I feel like there's collusion here. I feel like her and Tom, they have an agreement. They know what they're doing, right? Whether or not Tom has dementia, I mean, it could go either way. Some say he's faking it, right? Which is a brilliant defense because at the worst, they're going to take all his money, right? But he gets to live out his life, say, in like a senior's home versus living out the rest of his life in prison, right? Because they're probably not going to throw somebody with dementia who's like 100 years old in prison, right? They'll probably put him on house arrest or seize all his assets, which they have already done. And then he can just live out his life with, if you're in a home, I guess you have a bit more freedom than prison, right? Like, which one would you choose? Being in a senior's home or prison, right? So if it's like a lose-lose situation, in a senior's home with no money versus in prison with no money. And of course, he has assets hidden somewhere. And I'm pretty sure that he has struck a deal with Erica like, look, you help me out. You help sort of strengthen this narrative of I have cognitive disabilities due to some sort of accident. Well, I drove off a cliff or something and I was unconscious for 12 hours. Like, these ridiculous damn stories, right? You push this narrative for me, which will help my case. And if you do that, I will give you a little money on the side. I will take care of you. It's so obvious at this point because no point during the season, the only time she really mentioned the victims is when Garcelle brought it up. Other than that, she doesn't mention the people that Tom has scammed, right? She doesn't even seem a little disappointed in Tom or like she's not trying to distance herself from Tom. If anything, she's just a real sketchy character. And I'm really looking forward to the reunion when Andy can ask her the real questions because none of these ladies are giving us that. None of them. And I don't know. I don't know what to expect next season, to be honest. Especially, like, even if Erica comes back, I don't even know what to expect with them, because they need somebody like Camille. They really do. They need someone that's not afraid to speak their mind, right? Because all of them are afraid. And Kyle, oh my God, Kyle is the fakest. They're all so fake. But Kyle, oh my gosh, she takes the cake. And even in that moment, she says, "Son, why are you so quiet?" Obviously instigating some sort of drama, right? But then you want to act like you want to have a good time and you want everybody to get along. But there you are instigating drama between Kyle and Erica, who you know don't get along, right? And then you go and tell Erica, "Oh, you're so happy. I like to see you that way. I feel like you're going to make it. Don't worry, don't worry." But then you're talking behind her back the whole time. I can't wait till the reunion. I want to see Erica cuss Kyle out. I really do. So Erica is talking to Sutton again, sorta, kind of, right? And at the dinner, right, she kind of sort of broke the ice and started talking to her again. And then the next day, Garcelle and Sutton are kind of gossiping about it. And their room is right above Erica's. So they're on the balcony talking about Erica. And Erica's down below. And she could actually hear everything they're saying. But good thing she was like, "Hey guys, I can hear what you're saying. Shut up." Because some other people, they would have just remained quiet, right? Like some people, they would have just, stayed on the balcony and eavesdropped and listened for the whole conversation to see what they were saying. But thankfully, Erica said something, because that would be so awkward. Because I know that Garcelle and Sutton probably would have said something that Erica wouldn't have liked. And is it bad that a part of me wished that Erica kind of shut up and didn't say anything, right? And just listened? Because like I've been saying before, it would be really great to get real moments between the ladies, but they're so damn fake, right? Even when it comes to Sutton and Erica, later on they go on this boat dinner. It was absolutely gorgeous. When the sun was setting and they were on the boat and the sky was like purple, it was really beautiful. And to me, this should have been the season finale. Like, why are we getting one more episode? We don't need one more episode. This should have just been it. Like, really? Oh my gosh. So Sutton and Erica, right? Erica kind of sort of apologizes to her. And Sutton receives the apology. Sutton even said, "Oh, you don't need to apologize to me." They're so damn fake. Because in the confessionals, Erica was like, "Well, I hate Sutton, but I don't want to ruin the trip." And Sutton was like, "Well, I want to accept the apology, but I don't know if I can trust her." And it's all sort of like, none of you guys don't like each other, or there's still an issue. And instead of just being honest and talking it out and having a moment, you guys are being fake. And this is what is so annoying watching Beverly Hills. Like, out of all the franchises, they are the most fake. Let me think. No, they are the most fake. Like, I don't think we have this issue with any of the other franchises, right? Like, yeah, they may be fake for a moment, but they're able to have real conversations. Now, yes, I agree, there should be a balance. You don't want people biting off each other's head, every 5 seconds. But it's just really annoying when there are things that need to be resolved and talked out, and then we're not getting that as an audience. We're just not. Because I maybe because this topic is so intense and so serious that the other ladies don't kind of want to dip their toes in it, right? Because this is like criminal charges. We're in the criminal area. This isn't like Denise Richards and whether or not she slept with Brandy. Like, they can kind of go into that, even though that's still wrong. But the consequences of them doing that, in terms of legally, is not that high for them. Now, for Denise, that F's up her life, potentially, right? But they don't care about that. And she's not going to go to jail. So they can kind of mess around with her with that. But with the Erica thing, it's just a little bit touchy, right? Because if they ask the wrong questions or say the wrong things or put Erica in a certain spot, it's not that Erica's just going to look bad. Erica may potentially go to jail. So I can give them a little bit of leeway, but I don't know. I'm not really liking it. I just want this season to be over, to be honest with you. So, I forgot to mention, in the previous scene, Erica and Kyle are like playing tennis, right? And of course, yet again, Erica talks about her situation, right? Because none of the other ladies really have like anything going on. Like, what is Kyle going to talk about in her life? She has absolutely nothing going on. So, of course, every scene is Erica, and her experience. And she's like, oh, I have no money. I'm broke. I have nothing. Yet, in the scene before, we are watching you get ready with your glam team, right? You have someone doing your makeup and someone doing your hair and everything. Now, I don't know if Bravo pays for that. I'm going to assume not. Okay? Maybe for reunions, maybe if you do Watch What Happens Lives or something, maybe they'll cover some of the cost. But I doubt during the season they're paying for your glam team. Someone that is broke does not have a glam team. Like, even Kyle doesn't have a glam team. And Kyle isn't broke. I'm assuming, but she doesn't even have a glam team. You have a glam team. You have someone doing your makeup and your hair. Like, that's not broke to me, right? You're still wearing designer stuff. You're not, and then she's just like, she said, she told her lawyers that I don't expect to get any money from this. And she said the lawyer said that was the most noblest thing I ever heard. And Kyle was looking at her like, well, but Kyle's fake and scared. So she's not going to tell Erica, well, don't you think that's pretty self-centered? What about the victims? Like, of course you're not going to get anything. You are able to live this luxurious life for like 20-something years. I mean, you are not the victim in this situation. You're not. And I'm not saying you can't have empathy for her a little bit for what she went through, but sympathy, no. You have a glam team. Do you think the victims have a glam team? Do you think the victims would waste money on a glam team? Like, this whole woe is me act is just so, like, who's buying this? Does she really think this is gonna make her look good? Really? I mean, the average person watching this, like me, we definitely don't have a glam team. We're not making anywhere close to what you're making, even if you're just living off of what you're making out of the Real Housewives. Like, I don't know. How much do you guys think Erica Jane is making? On the low end, I would say $500K, maybe up to $1 million, right? She's been on for a while and she has been the fan favorite. So even if you're making on the low end of $500,000 per season, that's still a lot of money, right? Okay, fine. Is it a lot less to compared to the lifestyle that she has been living? Yeah. But you're not destitute. Or you're at least not destitute enough to whine and complain about it. Like, shut up. Shut up about it. Or just, I don't know. Like, but then if she shut up about it, to be fair, nothing else would be going on this season. No one would have anything else to say. Right? Because everybody is scared. Nobody talks to each other. Nobody says how they really feel. So, bleh. But okay, like, fine. I do like to see resolution between Side and Erica, but if it's not real, then there's no point, right? If in your confessional you're just gonna say, yeah, I hate her, then what was the point of that moment? there was 0 point to that moment. I will say at least Erica, she has a sense of humor, and she does seem like she can be fun and interesting, right? So I'll give her that. Like, despite everything, all the criticisms I can say about Erica is like, well, at least she's giving us something to work with, right? Crystal also kind of, well, she didn't apologize to Sutton, but she just said to Sutton, we're having a good time, we're connecting, we started off rocky, but I do like you. And they had a sweet moment, right? And then later on the scene, Sutton's crying, like, oh, me and Erica used to be so close, now we're enemies. And it's like, oh my God, why don't you tell this to Erica? Why are you crying to Kathy? Like, why are you telling Kathy this? This is annoying. It's just so annoying. This should have been the season finale, like I said. This should have been it, right? Oh, I can't stand them. I'm over it. And then I see the previews for next week's episode, and what did they do to Garcelle? What did they do to her? Why did they set her up with that guy? Oh my God, I'm terrible. I mean, I have to see how it goes, but I don't know. Does he look like that picture that they showed us? He's not really looking like the photo, okay, but we'll see how that goes. That's everything. I'm over them. I'm absolutely over them. I guess I could save it for the season finale, but I'll just comment on this now. I don't know with Beverly Hills. I really don't know. In terms of them coming back, in terms of what the cast is going to look like. The odd thing is that I do like everybody in their own way. Even though I kind of don't like them, I do like them. I don't want to see anybody be replaced. But if I was the producer, I would talk to these ladies, give them a stern talking to and be like, okay, you guys need to be more authentic with how you're feeling, right? Don't come to the confessionals, talk a bunch of crap if you're not going to say this to each other's faces. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. And maybe add Camille or something. They need something. Anyways, guys, that's everything. See ya. Bye.